Right, everyone. Good day, good afternoon, good evening. I'm Captain Gaurav Rana. I run Sea and Beyond. We've got participants from around the world, and welcome to all of you. This is a webinar, a masterclass on commercial shipping, where we're going to talk about the various stakeholders, how is the whole ecosystem within the commercial shipping, and in the end tell about a career path in the commercial shipping and how we could support you over there. So starting over here, why are we doing this webinar? So uh, a lot of times, many of us hear about a certain field, a certain function, and the way you could enter into it. And the knowledge around it is sometimes percolated through a friend of a friend of a friend, and may not be the best or the appropriate knowledge. So through these series of webinars, we try and increase your awareness, provide you information from relevant, very credible sources. With the help of this information, you could evaluate the relevance, and then at the end of the day, help you to take a well-informed decision. So that's the reason for doing this webinar. And some do's and don'ts during the webinar. You may submit the question in the chat window, but we'll probably take it at the end. Your questions, if it's possible, will not be very specific to you. We'll generalize the questions, the answers to the questions. Very specific questions can be taken at the end of the webinar. The slides we will share with you after the webinar finishes. And yeah, I mean, attending the webinar will not land you a job. That's just a disclaimer. And moving on, let me take a poll now. And the poll is on your rank. So what are you sailing as? And while I have the privilege of introducing the speakers here, it's a good time where you could also introduce yourself through this poll. So in this webinar, we've got Captain Ashok Sharma, who's the managing director of Jem Bakshi Broking. He's based in Singapore. We've got Captain Jaideep Singh, who's a director in commercial vessel operations lead for Asia Pacific, Cargill. We've got Captain Nilesh Kawal, who is working in Scorpio on the commercial side. He's a senior manager. Captain Sanjeev Bhatnagar, who's managing Navigate in India, which is on the commercial side again. Captain Ashok Gogia, who's the chairman of Institute of Chartered Shipbrokers, Mumbai branch, and the owner of Dev Marine Services. And Dr. Abhay Singh, who's the assistant professor, and he's also a board member in the Gujarat Maritime University. He may not be able to come here, but we have a very strong association with Gujarat Maritime University, who provides the certification along with ICS, and we are a recognized partner of CNBeyond is a recognized partner of ICS. It's great to have such experienced, very senior professionals on the webinar. We're going to talk about the evolution of commercial shipping, and the agenda is the follows. The overview of commercial shipping, how the industry has evolved from being probably based in Europe to Asia and India. What are the activities which are happening in India? The current challenges which we face in India, both in terms of companies and also in terms of the persons, and the changes which are happening in the commercial shipping, the education which you require, the personality which you require for commercial shipping. So that's essentially what we're going to talk about. And I see about 87% of you who have answered the poll. So let me stop the poll and share the results. So we've got 70 or 65% of the people who are a sailing experience only, 25% who have settled ashore after sailing, and 8% working ashore without sailing experience, and 2% who do not have a work experience. So, so welcome to all of you, all the participants as well, and I'm sure this is going to be a great session over here. And Before we start with the next session, let's take one more poll, and this poll will be on your screen now. So this poll is: what fascinates you most in commercial shipping, and why are you here in this webinar? So we just want to understand that, and then I'll hand over the platform to Captain Ashok Sharma, who will give us an overview of commercial shipping and the various players within it. So we need at least 80% participation. We're almost there. Look forward to a few more responses. All right, a good number of you have voted, and let me stop the poll and share the results. So 49%, which is half of the people over here, feel that commercial professionals have comparatively more power, and which is what fascinates them more about commercial shipping. 29% of us feel that there's a lot of money to be made. 21%, and very transparently, so that they don't know much, but there's something about it. There's an X factor about commercial shipping. And 1% feel because most of their friends are keen in commercial shipping. So it's a fair point, and that's just to have the reason why people over here are looking to get into or commercial shipping, and why this fascinates them. And that's pretty much it from my side right now. Over to you, Captain Ashok Sharma, please.
Gents, good afternoon to you. Shows a lot of commitment, staying up in the afternoon, a Saturday afternoon for a seminar. So commercial shipping really must have some kind of attraction for all of you who are here. Short introduction. My name is Ashok Sharma, Captain Ashok Sharma, if you like. I am the managing director of JM Bakshi Far East, based in Singapore. We set this company up almost 16 years ago. It's a wholly owned subsidiary of the JM Bakshi Group. We are chartered shipbrokers, chartering shipbrokers. We focus on liquids. That is from crude oil down to LNG. That's what we do: crude oil, fuel oil, CPP, chems, LPG, LNG. So we are brokers in all these different segments. Okay, we are now so broking is, as you will see later, is an integral part of the commercial shipping segment, and that's why I think I'm in some kind of a position to cast a spotlight on what the commercial shipping segment is all about. So yeah, I've been in I sailed for about 20 years, and after that, I've been in commercial shipping for about 23. So gives me a mix of experience, afloat and ashore. So here goes. For better or for worse, let me give you my point of view. Now, what is the meaning of commercial shipping? A ship is a commercial enterprise, right? A business enterprise. We're talking about merchant ships. So they are a business enterprise in which revenues are generated by renting out the space on a ship or cargo ships. In return for a remuneration, this is termed as freight. So you charter a ship out The charterer can, and this is the most simplistic explanation. The charterer uses the space available on the ship, whether you load iron ore or grain or containers or oil, whatever it is, LNG, LPG. That space is being leased out, rented out, chartered out to a charterer who carries his cargo in that space, and he compensates the ship owner in terms of freight. This is across the entire spectrum of merchant ship types, whether it's a tanker or a bulk carrier, a container, chemical tanker, you name it. You could argue that dredgers and stuff are also commercial ships, but I don't think that really is the ambit of this discussion right now. There's several like icebreakers, dredgers, they're all commercial ships. And in some way or the other, you're either letting out the space or the equipment on the ship to a charterer. When a ship is in operation, freight is the only revenue stream for the owner. Remember that. An owner builds a ship, invests tens of millions of dollars, sometimes hundreds of millions of dollars to put a ship on the water, and his only revenue stream at that time is freight. Like he's letting out the space on his ship for charter hire or freight or whatever it is. So that makes the commercial department of a shipping company extremely important. So because that's what keeps that's what keeps the ship ticking over, and that's what pays the bills. Now, it is enough to say that the ship will generate additional revenue when it is sold or scrapped, right? So you sell a ship, you get a value for the ship, and that also is revenue depending on what is the value of the ship when you sold it, and did you make a profit or a loss? Very often a loss is made, but pretty often astute ship owners make profits as well. Or when you sell, well, scrapping is also a form of selling the ship, where you sell the ship and the ship doesn't trade any further. She gets beached and she's scrapped for steel and the equipment that's on board. Hence, the commercial aspect of shipping broadly entails with the revenue earning activity that is freight. So all of you who are looking to get into commercial shipping are looking to get into an activity that deals either with directly earning the freight, or with supporting the process of freight earning, or in the process, or involved in the process of claiming, or in the process of collecting costs that were incurred during the process of earning the freight. So this is the difference between freight and claims. Things like demurrage, additional war risk premium, port costs, those come in, those are costs associated with the earning freight, and they are normally held by something called the claims department, which I will discuss in the next slide. I'm stopping here right now. I like questions asked. Is there any question at all that comes up from this slide? Okay, let's go to the next slide. Who are the participants in freight markets? Okay, these are the broad categories. You'll find a lot of subcategories as well. But like I said, it's an initial introductory course, so we need not get into the fine print. The three broad participants in the commercial freight markets are the charterers. Charterers are owners or controllers of the cargo transportation. I'll give you a simple example. I mean, Indian Oil Corporation is typically a charterer. They will buy a cargo from, let's say, West Africa or the Arabian Gulf, or wherever. They buy a cargo, let's say, of crude oil. And then they will look to charter in a ship to carry that crude oil from the port of loading to the port of discharge. So they're called charterers since they are going to charter the ship, and they control the cargo. I mean, they own the cargo, and they're going to use, and they're going to buy the cargo and they sell the cargo, and the transportation of the cargo is the process of transportation of the process of engaging a ship for the transportation of cargo is called chartering. It's got ancient ramifications because it comes from the royal times, 1800. Again, no need to go into that history, but chartering is a term commonly used for contracting a ship to transport a cargo. So normally the entity that buys the cargo and sells the cargo is the charterer. He also pays for the transportation of the cargo. So that's the charter for you. The next of the logical participant and extremely important is the owner. Is the owner of the cargo? Owner of the ship. This is the entity that has ownership control of the ship. He might directly own the ship. He might have chartered it in for a voyage. He may have chartered it in for a period. Again, I can go to an owner. Okay, one second. Let me get a little bit more clarity. Like Indian Oil Corporation can go to, say, Shipping Corporation of India and tell them, I want to charter your ship to transport this cargo from A to B. So obviously, Indian Oil Corporation is the charterer. Shipping Corporation of India is the owner of the ship. Now, you could also have, say, you could have an entity called XYZ who goes to Shipping Corporation of India and says, I want to rent your ship, I want to lease your ship or charter your ship, either for one voyage or for a certain period. That person who charters the ship in then affects ownership control of the ship. So he is called a disponent owner. Again, we will explain all this when we have subsequent classes, subsequent sessions in the course. But you can have two types of owners: an owner who directly owns the ship, or an owner who effects disponent control of the ship, who is in all commercial aspects the owner of the ship, but for the purposes of transporting that particular cargo. The third entity, which is again a critical entity, is a broker. Now, brokers are middlemen in the shipping industry. They play a crucial role in price discovery. I'll explain that to you in a minute. Brokers form an integral segment of chartering networks globally. Okay, you have a charterer, you have an entity like Indian Oil Corporation is an entity, but the person who's doing the chartering in the Indian Oil Corporation's office is interacting 99 times out of 100. He's not interacting with the owner of, say, the shipping corporation directly. Well, let's just keep it that way for now. I'm using Indian Oil Corporation and Shipping Corporation just to make it more graphic. So the chartering person in Indian Oil Corporation's office will interact with a broker, who will then either interact with another broker, who will then interact with the chartering person in the Shipping Corporation of India's office. So you have these middlemen. You have the chartering executive in Indian Oil Corporation's office, and then you have the broker, one or two brokers, and then you have the chartering executive in the Shipping Corporation of India's office. So the brokers are effectively the middlemen. Now, why are middlemen? Why do we call them? Why do we say they are crucial in price discovery? A charterer, like let me just get some numbers so that you can understand these things in perspective. Say a cargo of crude oil, say on a VLCC, it's 2 million barrels. So today it costs $130 million for one full VLCC load. Is give or take $130 million, excluding the freight. So you can imagine the charterer, Indian Oil Corporation, is got so much focus, and there are so many other commercial ramifications of buying a cargo and selling a cargo. It's an extremely complicated process. Of course, it's capital intensive. So charterers have limited bandwidth as far as going out to the market and trying to discover what the price of transporting that cargo is going to be. Similarly, the owner, say a VLCC today could cost anywhere between $70 and $100 million. Again, it's a very ship owning is a very capital intensive activity. It's highly complicated. We have ships that sail through several regulatory administrations, several regulatory regimes. So a ship owner doesn't have enough bandwidth to go out into the market and see what is the prevailing cost of what should I charge Indian Oil Corporation for transporting that cargo, because he just doesn't have the time to go into the market and see, because the chartering market is so dynamic, so quick moving, so diverse, and so inextricably globally interlinked. That's impossible for one person to have an idea of exactly what the market is doing, because there are so many factors that affect the market. Brokers, on the other hand, being middlemen, they are not connected to the asset at all. They are not connected. They don't own the ship. They don't own the cargo. Their job is to intellectually apply themselves to the chartering market to figure out what is going on, what is the demand supply situation, and what numbers should be paid for this particular voyage for which Indian Oil Corporation was to charter the ship from Shipping Corporation of India. So brokers provide that intellectual input to the ship owner and the charterer, and they help the ship owner and charterer arrive at a level which both of them are agreeing. One is agreeing to pay, the other one is agreeing to take, and help in negotiating and finalizing the contract. It's much more complicated than what I'm saying, but this is the sum and substance of what brokers do. Are there any questions so far? Okay, we go to the next slide. So, as I've already explained to you earlier, what are we're talking about employment opportunities in commercial shipping. So we spoke about the three different entities involved, or three different types of persons involved. The chartering executives, in the oil company, the chartering executive in the ship owning office, and the chartering and the brokers in the middlemen. So that is whether you're a chartering executive in the oil company, or chartering executive in the ship owner's office, or the broker, you're performing the same role, but you're only exchanging ideas and you're communicating with each other. So also in principals offices, traditionally, the brokers are called chartering executives, and in brokers' offices, they're called brokers. So that's the first category of that's the first category of employment that is available, and it is the highest remunerated, is the highest remunerative position in commercial shipping today. So they are market-facing personnel in owners and charters offices. They they interact with brokers, are involved in day-to-day chartering activities. They could also be sometimes called brokers who are employed by charters or owners. This is more typical in Greek ship owners. They call the chartering people brokers sometimes. But the more commonly, the designation is chartering executives in principals' offices and brokers in shipbroking offices. Now, now once a ship is fixed, the commercial deal is done, it's been finalized, you have the operations people who take over the execution of the voyage. Of course, the operations people also assist in the charter's office, broker's office, as well as the ship owner's office. They assist in the fixing activity to the extent of providing information. What is the port cost? What is the cost of bunkers? Are bunkers available here or not? What is the war risk premium? Stuff like that. So that is something done by operations executives. They are not chartering people. They support the chartering executives. So they are personnel who assist the chartering executives in owners and charters offices, also in brokers' offices, in providing information and liaising with the ship while negotiating for a contract for employment. Sometimes in a ship owner's office, when a question needs to be asked of a ship, very often the most common thing is, hey, ask the ship for an updated Q88. For those who are on tankers, you would probably understand Q88 is basically the CV of the ship, the curriculum vitae of the ship. So the chartering guy will ask the operations guy, please ask the ship master for an updated Q88, or get a diagram, boring diagram, something, whatever. Hundreds of different questions could be asked. So subsequently, on a contract for employment being finalized, operations executives are responsible for monitoring and coordinating the execution of the voyage. Vessel is fully fixed, ship is handed over to the operations people, and when the ship finally and entire communication during the voyage takes place through the operations department of the various of the charterer, broker, and owners' offices, and the operations job finally comes to an end when the voyage is completed and the freight is paid. Normally, operations is responsible for recovering the freight as well. So that's the extent of the operations executive's involvement with a particular voyage. It's much more complicated than that, but for now, it's enough for you to know this. Once the voyage is over, all costs have not been settled. The account is still very much open. In fact, the account, the ship file remains open for several months after completion of the voyage. Now, the dealing of an open file after completion of a voyage normally ends up in the lap of a claims executive. Demurrage claims are the most common. Then they will also follow up on port costs. Sometimes the charter party, the port costs have to be paid by the charterer, and so the claims executive has to follow up on that. And several things, war risk premiums, there could be bunker costs, heating costs that need to be paid by the charter of the ship owner. Claims executives will follow up on that. So so these are the three broad definitions of jobs slots available in shore-based commercial shipping offices. So that's chartering executives, operations executives, and claims executives. Every entity in the industry, including broking houses, require the above mentioned, or they incorporate the above mentioned job function. So you have people involved in these job functions in every entity: broking houses, charterers, ship owners. Next, please. So what are the attributes of personnel involved in these or employed in these positions? A chartering shipbroker he should actually be a puzzle solver. He should be able to take all the pieces of a puzzle scattered across his table and put them together. He should have an analytical mind. He should be able to see the big picture. He should have an eye for detail. He should be able to think out of the box. Without saying, he should be an outgoing personality. The person, people should enjoy talking to you. So if people don't enjoy talking to you, you won't get calls. People won't call you. And people won't call you. People may not take your calls or whatever, unless you're an outgoing personality. You should have social skills. Yes, you should be able to sit down and enjoy yourself with your clients. Or a ship owner should like to sit down with a broker, or the ship owner and chartering and the charterers, chartering people. They should all have outgoing personalities, so they can sit down and enjoy a drink or enjoy an outing with each other. It's an integral part of being a chartering executive, having social skills, a determination to succeed, because it's a very tough job. It's thankless in the sense that, okay, one day you do a very good deal. If you're in a charter's office, one day you'll do a very good deal, and one day you could do a deal that is you've paid an astronomical freight rate. And that's only because of the market. Or you just might have got caught. You might have got squeezed. You have a cargo that needs to be moved, and there's only one ship available, and he charges you the earth. So that day, you're in the doghouse. So it's a tough job, and you have to be focused. So one day you're up, the other day you're down. Of course, you should have an ability to build a network. You should like talking to people. You should love reaching out to them, exchanging information. Because remember, it's a very important fundamental to grasp. The chartering marketplace in the commercial shipping industry exists only in the minds of the chartering people involved. It doesn't exist on a screen. It doesn't exist on paper. It only exists in the intellectual residence of the people, of the chartering executives, and to an extent the operations executives in the different entities involved in the chartering activity. Excellent negotiating skills. It should be you should have the ability to be able to read between the lines, and remember, almost all negotiations take place either on email or over the phone. Critical, the last minute negotiations are always over the phone. So you should have an ability to be able to figure out what the other guy is thinking, what the other guy will do, what kind of rate you think he will take. I mean, what's his compulsion in lifting the cargo? What's his compulsion in moving the cargo? What's his compulsion in fixing his ship? So, and of course, you should have an in-depth knowledge of charter party clauses. So this is a given. An operations person should have in-depth knowledge of the relevant segment. Again, excellent communication skills. But remember, the one thing that people in the shipping industry hate are surprises. So, and if something is going wrong or some unusual circumstance has to be highlighted, it should be highlighted extremely clearly and well in advance. There should be no doubts at all, because a disruption in communication or miscommunication can lead to very, very expensive situations. Extremely, you'll not imagine how expensive they can get. So, and of course, an operations guy should have a knowledge of the charter party contracts pertaining to the execution of the voyage. Claims executives need to have an organized work ethic, organized mind, and great work ethic, because they have to remember. They have to remember a lot of small detail. There are lots of timelines. There are a lot of time bar clauses where hundreds and millions, but several $1 million can be lost just because a claims executive has forgotten to send a demurrage notification, or there have been more than one case, and then there are insurance claims and stuff like that. So, and remember, a file remains open for far after the, or for several months or years sometimes after the voyage is completed. So claims executives have to have this perspective of being able to track the process, track the progress of a claim. And remember, any one claims executive would have maybe 30, 40, 50 files open at any given time. So it's very important to be organized. It's a crucial function because claims far outlive the duration of the voyage itself. So the claims executive is the only one who's left dealing with the voyage in the end. Next, please. Okay, I think I'm done now. So Gaurav, I hand it back to you.
Sure. Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks a lot for giving those insights. And also, you're one of the first persons whom I discussed about this course about a year and a half back. And thanks for supporting us since then. You also take classes in our course. So thank you so much for that, sir. And before I introduce the next speaker, let me take a poll on 1 second. Yeah. And here is the poll on where do you feel most of the commercial shipping activities happen in the world, and where do you feel the commercial activities are increasing the most? You should have the poll in front of your window. And after this poll, I'll request Captain Jaideep Singh, who is the Director Asia Pacific on the commercial APEC side, to talk about how the commercial shipping ecosystem is evolving. Captain Jaideep has been in the commercial side of things for the 15 plus years, and he's had a bird's eye view. He's worked in Maersk, he's worked in Hapag-Lloyd, he's working in Cargill, top companies which essentially control the commercial active, or not control but influence a lot of commercial activities worldwide. And no better person than him to essentially give a overview about the international the way internationally commercial activities are evolving. So let's check the questions here, the answers which have come on a screen, and then I'll hand over to Captain Jaideep. Right, I'll end the poll and sharing the results. So I see about 40% of you feel that the commercial activities happening in the world are in Singapore. followed by Dubai, followed by Rotterdam and Europe. Both Dubai and Rotterdam are close. And where it's increasing the most, the overwhelming favorite is India, Asia, followed by Far East, Hong Kong. Right. Thanks everyone for your answers. And over to you, Captain Jaideep, please.
Thank you, Captain Gaurav, and good afternoon, everyone. I'm always excited to connect with the participants of this course. From the past two batches, we have been able to hire some very good candidates, actually, and I'm sure we'll continue to do so. So let's move on to my topic. Today, I want to basically take you on a very brief and but fascinating journey of the evolution of commercial shipping. We'll see how global power dynamics have shaped the very arteries of global trade. Let's start with the beginning, the ancient times. In the ancient times, as we all know, I'm talking about the early Chinese civilization and the Indian maritime empires, pretty long time back. Decision makers were merchant princes and local rulers in port cities, so it was pretty fragmented, and the trade routes were very, very regional. Moving on to the 15th and 18th centuries, marked quite a dynamic shift actually. Uh, the age of exploration started where Europeans started exploring the world, conquering it in a way, and leaving their footprint like Portugal, Spain, Netherlands, and later Britain and France emerged as the quite an undisputed centers of maritime decision making. So that is how things developed during these times. Uh, and so that the capitals like Amsterdam, London, Paris became the financial and political hubs directing global trade. Moving on to the 19th century, as we all know that the 19th century actually got us the Industrial Revolution, further consolidating power and but also planting seeds for future shifts actually. Britain, with its industrial might at that time and steel production, actually, and vast colonial empire, became the premier shipping nation. London, till date, like remains the financial heart, but new industrial ports like Liverpool and Glasgow within UK actually became major centers of shipbuilding and marine insurance as well. Then we move on to the 20th century. 20th century saw some very big transformations. the world wars, the two world wars actually weakened traditional European powers, and post-war the shipping landscape diversified in a lot of ways. We saw flags of convenience coming in. We saw containerization coming in, shipbuilding ships shifts, which were basically centered around Europe. Actually, for the first time, I think in a global platform, started shifting to Japan and then South Korea and overwhelmingly now to China. Actually, driven by, of course, lower labor costs and a lot of state support, and also the massive industrial capacity which specifically China has. So these nations have become quite critical resource of providing the entire global fleet actually. Moving on to the 21st century, I think today's commercial shipping is quite globalized. Yet I am of the opinion that the power is isn't quite evenly distributed. Decision-making hubs are still, like places like London, Oslo, Hamburg, and including Athens is also another one which holds its place amongst the big players. And however, we also see Singapore, Hong Kong, and China have risen as formidable global maritime and financial centers lately. Also, Dubai, I think, And the key resources, of course, if we talk about key resources in terms of shipping, I think shipbuilding is definitely one of them. And I think that this lies firmly. I think the power balance is completely shifted to Asia, China, South Korea, and Japan. Crewing, as we all know, and this is not a part of commercial shipping, but crewing, I think, is basically centered around the Philippines and India and Ukraine. And of course, the demand of cargoes is again, now heavily concentrated on Asia, specifically China and India, where which are actually driving massive freight volumes. Finance, like I have already discussed, I think London, New York, Singapore, Hong Kong, Shanghai are increasingly, are becoming quite an epicenter. London has been there for quite some time, so has been New York. But yeah, that is how the commercial shipping has evolved. In conclusion, I think the evolution of commercial shipping has been pretty dynamic, from localized coastal trades to European colonial dominance, and finally to the current globalized yet increasingly Asia-centric landscape, which is very, very welcome. And of course, I think this course is towards the right direction, and like identifying the right talent, and and serving the big players, like in the market, commercial players. So I think still we have a long way to go. Getting the right talent is has been quite difficult, specifically in India. And Captain Ashok rightly pointed out, it's quite a it's not normal operations. Like if somebody and operations is quite a broad word, right? Commercial operations is my simple take on it is a vessel has to make money, right? So and we have to be very in this, I think, challenging market, we have to be very careful, because the markets are same for everyone. But how can we have these extra how can we be extra cautious, and control the things which are in our control, and stop worrying about the things which are not in our control, right? So all the best to you guys, and I hope you have a very fruitful session with the brilliant team here, and all the best to you. And I'm sure that we will catch up with each other during one of our sessions. Thank you so much, Gaurav. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir. And thank you for giving such a beautiful overview, starting from the early 1900s to, all the way how it's gone from, coastal to one geography to another, and how it's been evolving over a period of time. Really, amazingly put in, probably in about 5, 7 to 8 minutes. So thank you so much for that perspective.
Thank you.
Pleasure, sir. And now let me request Captain Nilesh Kawal to provide us an overview on the Indian perspective in the commercial shipping. And Nilesh is working in Scorpio on the commercial side of things. He's been ashore for a while, and he's honestly moved from training to commercial himself. And here he, talk about the evolution in India and the challenges that companies in India face in terms of growing themselves here. So over to you, Captain Nilesh.
Thanks, Gaurav. Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, guys, good afternoon. I'm Captain Nilesh Kawal. I'm working with Scorpio Marine Management for the past 12 odd years, and been ashore for 13. Like Gaurav mentioned, I was a part of the technical team earlier. Me and Gaurav interacted at that particular time as well, and the journey has kind of continued. Been with post-fixture claims team for now about 2.5 years, and I was asked to take a brief insight into the Indian commercial shipping and its growth. Some of this you might find repetitive, so bear with me on that one. I'm just going to share my screen. If you can see, just let me know. Yeah, I'm just sharing it. Can see it, right?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Okay. Like Captain Ashok said, I think he gave examples of Indian Oil Corporation and Shipping Corporation. Earlier, in the earlier days, in India, the ship owners mostly handled their own fixing, and since there were a few ship owners and there were a few charterers, most of this relationship was a long-term one. So the SCI Shipping Corporation of India will actually go to an IOC or a HPCL or a BPCL, and then they would deal one-on-one. They would be fixed charters. Vessel. In fact, I was with SCI when I started my sea career, so we used to carry most of the oil on a product tanker. We used to go to Dubai, Kuwait, load out of Kuwait, come to India, do a round trip in India, then go back to Kuwait. Similarly, there was trade with Russia, which was happening on some of these vessels. Liner trades were and still are pretty much directly driven. So the post-fixture operations in India was not actually very structured, or probably not required, because of the amount of fixtures which were happening. Post 2000, the world started realizing India's potential. The world started realizing Indian seafarers who were coming into the commercial foray, their expertise, and this resulted in rise in professional shipbroking, and India started becoming a hub with respect to commercial shipping. In fact, everything started with a port captainship, where a port captain would see whether look at the known reports, look at all other reports of the vessel, and see if he or she would have made the voyage a little profitable by helping. But slowly and steadily, the Indian diaspora started making effect on the global market, and slowly the whole commercial shipping gambit started moving on to India. With recent trade expansions, gentlemen, we have seen new ports coming up. Great, the trade volumes actually growing rapidly. The port capacities and everything has increased. The government support has increased, and India is emerging as a key player in the international market. And now you can actually see there are a lot of commercial activities happening in India. Captain Jaideep is a prime example with Cargill right now. And in fact, there is on the tanker side, there are pools being run by Scorpio, by Navigate, by Tom, by Maersk. So, and on the dry side, there's of course Cargill over there. So this also resulted in a lot of international ship brokering firms to set up shop in India. You have SSY and you have JM Bakshi, as Ashok already mentioned. So all these ship brokering firms have also kind of come into India, and this has resulted in a lot of good job scope with respect to the commercial shipping in India. These are some new opportunities which you can see that the ecosystem is getting stronger every day. We have pre-fixture, which is also known as chartering. We have post-fixture, which is operations, claims, and performances. In fact, performance monitoring, vessel performances, fuel oil efficiencies, with all the new EU ETS and all the emission regulations coming in, it is also becoming a very critical part of operations there, and it's a new segment which is coming up in quite a big way. So this is something which is in relation to the India growth story in respect to commercial shipping. With respect to the challenges which we are facing in just 1 minute, I will just stop here. I do not have slides for this, but I'll just give you my point of view with respect to the talent pool which the organizations require when it comes to hiring of commercial personnel. So we don't have a pipeline as such. When you look at other aspects of shipping, so you have an academy which gives you deck cadets. You have an academy which gives you engineers. You have an academy which gives you electrical officers. But when you go to the market and ask if there is an academy which can give you somebody who has commercial knowledge, we would only get people who have probably mostly sales, and while sailing you get some sort of commercial knowledge, but you are always on the other side. So in that case, as an organization, just so as an organization, what I always felt was whenever you would go and you require people for a certain role, there was a lot of incubation time which you required when you onboard that person. Not anybody's fault, but the inherent knowledge which is required for a commercial role was taught on the go. And I think that is why this course is a game changer right now, because now after doing this course, you can actually hit the ground running. If not running, at least you are hitting the ground walking and not crawling. So this is what I can say, that the challenge right now is the people are talented, but I think the focus towards commercial is not easily available. I mean, the knowledge is also not easily available in the market. And my personal experience with a couple of guys who have joined us from Sea and Beyond, this course has actually helped us. So I think this is a step in the right direction, and kudos to Gaurav for that. That is my 2 bits about the challenges we are facing in the commercial hiring space. So thank you, Gaurav. Thank you for this.
Thanks, Nilesh. Again, on the Indian side of things, how India has evolved in terms of just being a crewing destination, or essentially, being updating on the operations to now having post-operation, post-fix operations, and also with the trade flow coming in, the brokers coming. You give a very good perspective, and thank you also. And then I'm hiring a couple of people from the course as well in your team. So the objective of the course, I see that meeting up finally. Thank you. And now, if I may also have another poll over here. And all right. This poll should be on your screen now. Have you ever approached for a job in commercial shipping? And what are the major challenges to search for a job in commercial shipping that you faced? And after this poll, I will request Captain Ashok Gogia to talk about the challenges which essentially the individuals face. He's the chairman of Institute of Chartered Shipbrokers Mumbai branch, and he talks a lot to the individuals as well. He also trains them, and he has an overview or perspective on the challenges which individuals also face. So after this poll, I'll request him to share his insights. Right. A few more answers if possible. I've got about 75% of you who have voted. All right. I'm ending the poll and sharing the results. So 57% of you have not tried for a commercial job till now. Rest are in the process or they've tried. The major challenges which people face is 51% lack of information on hiring, 23% right skills, Then comes low salary, which is the last actually 12% of us feel, and availability of jobs in India. So, as you would have realized, the availability of jobs is not that much of a challenge. There are a lot of opportunities which are coming in. But thanks for your answers, for your feedback. And over to you, Captain Gogia now.
Good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir,
Sir,
we can hear you.
we can hear you, sir. Good afternoon.
Okay, thank you very much. Gaurav, before I start, do we have the ICS presentation which we displayed last time?
No, sir, not right now, not handy.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so we are here today to discuss about the various complications and the difficulties people have getting shore jobs. What I would say is the opportunities are definitely there. The opportunities are there. However, the availability of jobs might be a bit of a challenge. Reasons being that people do come ashore, and unless they have somebody like Sea and Beyond which structures them in the right direction, it becomes difficult to get your direction. So yes, having said that, I feel that we at ICS offer you an excellent opportunity where you can get your basics. You can get your basics, and whilst it is time consuming, even if you are employed at a job, you can complete this course in a time period of 5 years. So as a result, what happens is that whilst you are doing your job, you're involved in your job, and you're doing trying to get yourself familiar with the various job requirements, you can do it. So that is one direction in which we can guide you. Gaurav has been with them as a recognized partner. I've been heading them for about 2 years now. What I would recommend is or suggest is go onto the website. Go onto the website, and there are various kinds of subjects which you can do, and you get a complete knowledge of what is commercial shipping. I did hear, when we were having this chat, I did hear Captain Nilesh say that there have not been anything of a structured kind of a training. I totally agree with you, sir. But all the same, ICS has been there since 1920 when it was actually formalized. In India, it's been there from 1996. However, I can totally agree with the fact that it was pretty dormant in Mumbai, whereas Chennai used to have regular webinars and seminars, and people did get information. Now, the next point is, after you do this course, where do you go? People who are from the merchant navy, they can do this course while they are at sea. However, even when they come ashore and they get some kind of a job, while they are doing it, they can continue doing this. That is one way of doing it. And the other is people who are in commercial establishments. They want a knowledge of it, they can get it, because it is very, very effective. And honestly, I did not know anything about commercial shipping till I actually did the course about 25 years back, and it was an eye-opener. So having said that, I would really request and urge most of you to go to the website, go to the ICS website, and briefly I will go through the subjects which they have, starting with introduction to shipping, legal principles, a shipping business, economies of sea transport, shipping business. Then they have dry cargo, ship operations, sale and purchase, which is fairly in demand in the Indian shipping industry. Then we have tanker chartering, liner trades, port agency, logistics, port and terminal management, and offshore support industry. We also have shipping law, marine insurance, and shipping finance. See, earlier when they had got this course into India, that is the Institute of Chartered Shipbrokers, the general impression was only about brokering, and that also was on dry cargo chartering. But when you go through it and you see what all avenues are open for you, it is fairly intense. And also, let me tell you, it is not an easy exam to pass. But once you get through it, you get the confidence of what is there in the shipping industry, and you can definitely take progress forward. In basically all the shipping, in most of the shipping companies, they have a recognition. Most of the shipping companies worldwide have somebody or the other who has been trained or who has done his education or who has a qualification of as a member or as a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Shipbrokers. So having said that, I request most of you all to go into the go in the website, go through it, call us up, call Gaurav, and we are always there to help you. Having said that, I think I would end my presentation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your insights. And so let me just share my screen and tell you a little bit more about the courses which Sea and Beyond is offering in terms of the commercial shipping courses. So this course is the certification will be given by Sea and Beyond, who is a ICS recognized partner. So you'll have the ICS certification, you'll have Gujarat Maritime University certification as well. And the name of the first course which you are offering is Applied Commercial Shipping for Professionals. This is at a basic to intermediate level, and it gives you a bird's eye view of the industry, the major decisions which are decision-making unit in the company. It talks about the gateway to global opportunities and the high stakes leadership arena. This course is open to anyone who has a little bit of shipping knowledge. So someone who understands shipping to all the way till master mariners, technical superintendents, marine superintendents who have attended this course in the previous batches. In this course, you'll understand the fundamentals. You'll understand the essential skills and knowledge to be industry ready and deliver learning experiences from practicing industry veterans. That's very important, but it's not about theory. You'll have very senior people who will be talking you about, who will be teaching you about commercial shipping. The way we have designed this course is the sessions are going to happen on Saturday and Sunday. The first one will be on 12th, which is a Saturday, 12th of July, and then 13th of July. It'll be 3 hours session each, and it'll happen from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. IST. So we'll start from an overview of the commercial shipping. Then in the next 2 sessions, talk about charter party and the documents which are required. And we talk about clauses also, right? So in-depth clause analysis would happen. The various rider clauses would happen, would be discussed. Then in the next 2 sessions, we get into a little bit more detail where we talk about letter of credits, bill of lading, and it's not just bill of lading which we just taught in maybe the mates and master. It's much more in depth, right? We talk about the frauds which are happening. We talk about electronic EBL. We talk about when a BL should be tendered, should be accepted, when the NOR should be tendered, why it should be tendered, how it's perceived with various parties who are involved. Then we start to talk about lay time, demurrage, dispatch, world scale. We do calculations. We have case studies in the next in these sessions. Then it's about role of port agency, freight forwarding, brokers. We talk about the role of brokers. We talk about negotiations. Gas tanker is a separate market altogether. We talk about that. By the way, in all the other sessions, we also talk about oil and bulk separately. So this is a separate way in which the commercial operations happening, and it's bifurcated in a fair manner in all the sessions as well. And the last two sessions, we talk about the dispute resolutions, we talk about sanctions, we talk about insurance market, and then there is an HR session which talks about the skills required and how do you have those skills to enter into the commercial shipping. One of the key highlights of the course is when we take you to a company's office, right? So we take you to a company's office wherein you see the commercial department of a company. So various people, from the prefix to the postfix to the claims, to probably vessel performance, they come and talk about their life. What do they do? How do they do? So you will be able to actually see what they, what would you do if you get into commercial shipping? And the idea over here is that you take a well-informed decision. So for example, when we took the first batch to Cargill's office in Pune, there were two people who said that probably this is not for us. The kind of life it's there, we don't want that life, right? To me, that's a success, because now people are able to take a well-informed decision that, okay, they don't want to be in commercial shipping. And that's a very important decision, where most decisions are taken because we feel there's power, we feel there's money, but it may or may not be cut out for you. So it's important for you to understand whether it's for you or not. As I said, the faculty members are very, very senior people in the industry. We've got Krishnan Subramaniam, who's the international vice chairman, international vice chairman of ICS. We've got Captain Ashok Gogia, who's the chairman in Mumbai branch. Captain Sanjeev, who's heading Navigate. Captain Alok, who's heading GeoServe. Captain Ashok, whom we just talked about. Captain Shashi, who was the head of human resource in Adani and Ocean Sparkle. Dr. Abhay, Captain Jaideep Singh, Captain Nilesh will also be here, missed to put his name. So that's who will be teaching us in the course. We've had people who've got placed. Hoshang is working in Kargil. He was a chief mate, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, he's a chief mate who's working over there. Captain Bhavya is here. He's going to talk a little bit about his journey. He's working as a broker right now. We've got Nagesh, who's a third officer who's working in GeoServe in the commercial side. Captain Ganesh, who was there as a nautical faculty, who was part of the course. Captain Amit was there as a marine superintendent. So we've got testimonials from many of the people who've been part of the course. And I'll talk about the advanced course as well before I hand it over to Captain Bhavya and Captain Mitesh to talk about their journey in this course as well. So just 1 second. And this is the brochure on the advanced commercial course. And so over here, in most of the topics which we talked about, we'll get into the depth of things. In much more depth, we'll be talking. The key things over here, the key highlights of this course is we'll be doing a role play, right? So you'll be you'll become a broker, you'll become a charterer, a vessel owner, and you'll see that how the actual fixtures happen. We'll also teach you about software which are being used, and there will be an in-person session in GMU. Most importantly, after doing the advanced course, you will we will call companies. In the last batch, we had 5 companies which came to GMU's campus and they recruited people. So each person will be trained. You will be giving a presentation to the companies, and from there on, the recruitment would happen. The advanced course is a 5-week hybrid course, 6 online sessions, and 2.5 days of offline sessions, which will happen. We'll share the brochure so you'll know more about the curriculum, but it's actually more depth. There will be more calculations over here. We'll be talking about performance monitoring, emission trading. This is GTC, where we'll talk about the clauses, how the negotiations happen, and how a charter party is actually finalized after the negotiations. And again, we'll have very senior people over here who will be taking these sessions as well. Yeah, so that's more or less about the course over here, and I'm hoping we still have Bhavya. Yeah, Bhavya is there. Bhavya. So Bhavya was part of the first batch, and he did the foundation course, the introduction one. And in the so actually he did both the course in the first batch. But in the second batch, he came and he came for the session at GMU. So Bhavya, I'm happy that we were able to support you in your journey, and over to you. And if you could talk us through your journey, please.
Hi everyone. Thank you, Captain Rana. Yes, I'm here ashore because of your kind support. So hello everyone. I'm Captain Bhavya. I am a master mariner. I was sailing for 14 years, and for the last 10 years I was with TK. Uh, if I talk about my journey, to be very honest, if I go back 1 year ago, probably I would not have imagined myself, sitting ashore in the commercial world. I always had a keen interest, but like what we've been presented in the last 1 hour, uh, the guidance is not there. CN Beyond's course on commercial shipping is what got my traction. I decided to go for the first batch, and that is when I started developing interest. Uh, One thing I was clear about is that uh, opportunities are there, like Ashok sir has also mentioned. Opportunities are there, but you need to be prepared when they come knocking on your door. And this is what something which was clear to me, that I will start upskilling myself. I will start preparing myself for the day when opportunities come. I did the first batch, got it, really enjoyed it, very intriguing, got my attention, and this is what motivated me to go for the second batch, for the second course, advanced course. Unfortunately, I was not able to attend. So a lot of people be having this question, if we can do this while sailing. Let me tell you, me personally, I did both the courses while I was sailing. So the course is very well organized. The curriculum is well structured, and the timings are very comfortable. There can be days when we are not able to attend the live session. There's always a possibility for having a recorded session. But yes, it can be done while sailing, for people who don't want to take a 6, 7, 8 month break just specifically to do the course. Uh, Unfortunately, in that process, I couldn't be a part of the 3-day JMU program. So the CN Beyond team was generous enough to have me enter in the second batch. The 3-day part, what we just discussed, Gaurav sir mentioned, is something which is the the key of the program. It gives you a complete overview on how this industry is going to be. It gives you a complete picture, and to be very honest, till the time we don't take this first step, we don't realize and we don't understand the challenges that are going to come towards us. We interact with a lot of people, and in this journey is what we really understand if this is the right fit for us. uh, Having sailed for so many years as a master, and in the shipping industry, there are certain steps that you want to take, there are certain steps that you don't want to take. This is the journey where you will be able to answer those questions to yourself, whether you want to whether this is the right fit for you or not. Nobody else can tell you that. You only have to answer those questions. This is what I would. My last 1 year of journey has been with the Sea and Beyond and entering into commercial industry. I Once I completed the course, I started interacting with people, trying to look for opportunities, and I was generous. I was lucky enough, I would say. Uh, I got an opening in a broking firm. They were looking for some. So this is what happens, that when we approach somebody, opportunities are there, but they need people who have the correct acumen and who are ready to invest their time into something that they want to step into. So we all want to step into, but you have to show the determination that you are ready to contribute. And when you have given time into these courses, that is something that will put your resume on top of the others who are also applying. So I joined a broking house recently, and thanks to C and Beyond for all the support they have given to me in this entire process and journey. So that's from my side.
So thanks for the kind words, Bhavya. And really, I mean, I should also tell that, it's not, Bhavya had opportunities, and opportunities very close to his house, in his, in Marine Superintendent role and other roles. But it's also about sticking to a plan. It's also about trusting the process. It's also about, taking that extra mile, right? So he honestly did that. It's of course, I mean, the skilling and upskilling, that's something where we supported, but he there were other options available and he didn't take them. And he was, extremely, passionate about the role and which he got. So I'm very happy for you, Bhavya, and thanks for your kind testimonial.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And I've got Captain Mitesh as well over here. And Captain Mitesh is Captain Bhavya is working on the prefix side, and Captain Mitesh is working on the postfix side. And again, we've had a lot of interactions with I've had with Captain Mitesh, and I'm happy to see him taking the transition. And if you could also walk us through your journey, Captain Mitesh, please.
Sure, sure. Good afternoon to everyone. Good afternoon to our seniors. Uh, Myself, I'm Captain Mitesh Lama. I've been sailing with home ship management, mostly in tankers and chemical tankers for several years. And I sailed till October 2024. And yeah, I was looking for a short transition uh, since last year. But then, yes, I was looking for some course or some guidance, and that's how I met Captain Gaurav. I met the team of P and Beyond. I was one time in the same place as a participant in the webinar last year. I was watching the webinar in the live session, and here I am. I'm speaking once I'm already in the role. So anyway, I mean, recently I have joined one of the leading company in India in the honor side in as a post-fix operations team as a voyage manager. So I'm still in a learning phase now, and yes, it has been a very nice journey so far. I did a course somewhere in January to February, the introduction course, and then I did March to April. I did a commercial course. Once I had the clarity, the both the courses are very well designed, as my colleague Captain Bhavya have mentioned here. Uh, but the key factor was uh, the course structure plus the expertise, the expert people, the senior people who are here, all the dignitaries, and they have joined here. They are expert in their field. Whatever they have taught us, it was like whatever is the practical things. And most of the time, they went out of the way, and this 3 hours used to extend for 4 hours because of the discussion, the questions. Everybody is the professional people here. So they used to give us more time, apart from even if they were busy. But I knew that this 3 hours, it was never enough and they were still entertaining our questions. The important thing is that they gave the clarity, they clear your doubts. Uh, they were giving lot of knowledge and guidance. Uh, we went out of the way also. They went out of the way also when we were reaching out to them to ask your questions and clarity. So anyway, I mean, in this way, I had a very good experience with all the people here in the C and Beyond team, and Captain Gaurav and I had been uh, very, very much, like a mentor, and he had been mentoring a lot of other guys also. Some of my colleagues have got good opportunities already there in the commercials, and few of my colleagues from the introduction course, they found that okay, this is not a right fitment. And then they did not continue to go in the advanced course. So this course gives you a clarity when you have a choice that, like Captain Rana mentioned, that it gives you a clarity. You want to continue in commercial role. Is it the right fitment for you or no? So it takes it gives you opportunity to take an informed decision and invest your time, effort. You know, GME session is one of the key, and it was very nicely designed. We had a very great time to meet the like-minded people, the cohort, the batches cohort. So everybody there was looking for commercial roles, and we are still in touch. Like Captain Bhavya is also in touch with me, and we are in a different role, but we are communicating and sharing the knowledge and experience with each other in this thing. So the GMU session was having a live, real-time scenarios. We were making presentations. We met a lot of expert people from the different companies. It was a very nice experience. Yeah, knowledge-wise, the course is very flexible. Important that, and it gives you clarity, and people are very nice, and yeah, you get the guidance also. So I had a very nice privilege to be a part of this course, and looking forward to be how to I can contribute to next sessions or so. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much to you and all the experienced people over here, Captain Ashok Gogia and Ashok sir, everybody, Captain Nilesh sir and Jaideep sir, everybody who had been a part of my journey, and I feel I'm really grateful whatever I have reached at this point. Yes, I'm glad that I met all the people. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Captain Mitesh. Thank you so much. And honestly, I mean, if I talk about Captain Mitesh, he not only was very, very diligent in the course, always asking the relevant questions, always understanding, doing the homework and everything, but also, in between we had these seminars, these exhibitions wherein you had come yourself, you flew from Eastern from other part, and you came here, right? And that shows the commitment also. So it's the commitment which plays a big role for all of us to get where we are. And I hopefully over a period of time I see both of you, Captain Bhavya and Captain Mitesh, to come and teach in this course in the next few years as well, once you are probably more settled in your line of work. So thanks for your testimonials. And what I'm going to do is I'll just quickly summarize the course again, and then we will take the questions, Q&As, which are there in the chat window. So I'm just summarizing the course. The first one, which is Applied Commercial Shipping for Professionals, starts from 12th July to 17th August. 6 weeks, 12 sessions, weekends only. A day in a life of a commercial manager, which is a company visit, would happen after that. The advanced course starts from 6th of September till 21st of September. Those are the live classes. And then probably end of September, we have a 2.5-day visit to the GMU campus where we simulate the entire process. More importantly, we call the companies over there for recruitment. The costings of the course, the first one is 49,999. The second one, advance, is 59,999. I would strongly suggest that even if though you are a master or at any level, for example, both Mitesh and Bhavya, they did both the courses. I would suggest you do both the courses, but if someone feels that you could come directly in the advanced course, we have a test. And if someone passes that test, that's how you could get into the advanced course. For the first 5 applicants for the applied commercial course, we give you a 10% discount, which is valid for 2 days, which is till Monday. And if you book the advanced one right away, you will also get a 15% discount on the advanced one, which is valid for 5 participants. Smita will share the link of the course in the chat window, and these are the promo codes. She'll also write the promo codes as well over there. I think it's a very valid question. I'm taking the first one, which is from Varun, and I'll probably request Nilesh if you could answer that. And this is on junior officers stepping into a commercial shipping role. What do you think, Nilesh? How does the industry take junior officers coming to the commercial role?
Yeah, in fact, junior officers are quite welcome because get them young and hold them correctly is the motto right now with the commercial shipping. Also, there is it's the truth. I'll be slightly blunt because you get a heavy pay cut when you come ashore. So when you are a junior officer, the the delta rather, is not very big between what you get ashore and what you will be drawing on board. When you become a mate or a master, that delta becomes slightly bigger. So it is also easier for you to settle down ashore if you want to come at an early age. There are a lot of opportunities available for second mates, third mates as well, if they want to come ashore. In fact, at Scorpio, about 15 to 20% of the post fixture team is junior officers. So GeoServe as well. I think now Nagesh has just joined them. He was a third officer. So the opportunities are there, but like Bhavya also mentioned, and what Mitesh also mentioned, that you should be clear in your head that this is something you want to do. That clarity has to exist. If that clarity exists and you are ready to put in your hard yards, because it will take you some time to establish yourself on the commercial space. So you need to have that perseverance as well. So if you have all these 3 things, the opportunity do exist.
Thank you, Captain Nilesh. Captain Sharma, are you also around? And if you could also advise your take in terms of having junior officers and maybe in broking, and what do you feel about that?
Oh, decision to come ashore is a very personal one, right? At the top of the heap are people who've just had enough. Bhaiya, I don't want to sail anymore. I want to come ashore. Kuch bhi le lunga. I'll take any job there is. That was me. After 20 years at sea, I think the most boring job I ever had was a master on a ULCC, which it was like a prison. So I said, I'm not going back again. So, of course, I was how old at that time? I was almost 40 years old at that time. So that was my decision. But I don't think that's the right thing to do, honestly. Because then you're almost taking a retirement option. Enough's enough. I realize. I mean, I've been longer ashore than I was at sea now. So a more considered opinion would probably decision would probably have been better. Okay, but that's me. That was 2002. There were hardly any opportunities ashore. We were literally the first generation of shipbrokers that came ashore at that time, Indian shipbrokers. So, but now times are different. So the guys, on an average, the shipbrokers are better educated. Like we passed on an average. I mean, if you look at the Chanakya guys and all that, they come out with a graduate degree. And then they sail for a few years, make some money, and go out and do an MBA and stuff like that. So that's a big change right now. And those are the guys who really climb up the ladder quickly. Like you'll find one of these Chanakya type graduates is the head of finance in a major international bank, head of shipping finance in a major international bank. You'll find these guys, there are CEOs of companies. Like one of my batchmates is a CEO of a company in Europe. So opportunities are there for sure. So make up your mind why you're quitting. But if you think that, okay, I can understand one thing, what I'll always value about my time out at sea was the work ethic that it imparted me. That, boss, this is your job. There's no backup. Whether you're second mate, third mate, chief mate, master, there's no backup. If you're ill, you still got to come up on the bridge and do a job. I had 103 or 104 fever once. And I was a master on a ship. We were getting the ship out of Haldia, up the river, coming out towards Sandheads. I mean, who else is going to be on the bridge? So you don't have a choice. So that's the kind of work ethic that's imparted. Your responsibility is your responsibility. You got to execute it. So that's a great work ethic. But the biggest negative about shipping is that at a relatively early age in life, you reach a ceiling. That, yeah, you can be a master and no more on a ship, right? It's a huge job. It's a very, very responsible job. I mean, you've got almost unlimited responsibility, and authority is getting less and less and less and less. As days goes by, it is getting transplanted ashore. So yes, there is, I can understand that frustration, but you should be able to foresee that frustration a long way. And if you think you're looking for more vertical growth than just being a master out at sea, I would say that, yeah, get your master's license. That's important. And then come ashore as soon as you can. At what level you come ashore doesn't matter at all. Because the commercial shipping industry or the shipping industry recognizes talent very, very quickly once you're ashore. It somehow refuses to recognize the talent while you're sailing. But once you're ashore, you're working in a shore-based organization, you're good at what you do, you move up very, very quickly. That's a guarantee. You're good at your job, you will. If you're good at your job, you will reap rewards of that. So come out to shipping. If you want to come ashore, come out as early as possible. Don't wait. The money is not important. In the beginning, the money is not important. And remember one thing, yeah, I know. Because you have so much time in your hands when you're sailing, just people focus so much on the money that they earn. Oh, I've earned so much, the installment itna chala gaya, mera bank balance itna hai, allotment ho gaya, ye ho gaya. Yeah, you focus on money because that's the only thing you really have to look forward to, right? So your family is far away, you need to look after your family, you want to build up a bank account. When you come ashore, you get so busy. I mean, shore jobs take the mickey out of you. They take everything out of you. They don't leave you with much time. So either you're traveling or you're working late or you're commuting or whatever. But you don't get the time to think about money, really. So, but your salary will grow commensurate with your ability and your expertise and your willingness to work hard. So don't think about money. I heard somebody saying that. I heard one of your polls say the money is too low. It doesn't matter. I give you an example. It's of course, I don't know how relevant it would be right now, because when I was a master, my last ship as a master, 10 years seniority on a ULCC, I was getting the top grade in those days at $6,600 a month. That was the highest pay you could get in that particular company. On that, or the largest ship with the maximum allowances and all that. I came ashore at 20,000 rupees a month. And I didn't care because, what I treated it like was that I was, so many times you come home and leave, you earn nothing, right? Yeah, there's no salary on leave, nothing. So you're treated as you're going to be on leave for a year and just live off your savings if you have to. But it's a very important first step. Take that step. You get a job, you've decided you want to come ashore, just take it, grab it. Because remember, there are 10 people looking for every job that there is, even today. But the only thing is that the number of jobs are much greater. And fortunately, the population of seafarers hasn't exploded like that. I think you guys are still the same number of people who are still looking for jobs. That's why the opportunities are greater. So my advice is come ashore as soon as possible. Doesn't matter what kind of job it is, doesn't matter what salary it is. It doesn't. Because if you're good, if you're worth it, the market will pay you your price.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks for your sharing your experience, your journey, and of course your insights from probably what 1/10 of the salary which you came at when you shifted ashore.
Much less than 1/10.
Yeah.
Much less. Yeah.
Right. The next question is from Devarshi Bharti. And Devarshi, and let me ask Captain Nilesh you this question. I'm just summarizing this question. Essentially, what he's asking is that what are the major skill gaps which we observe today in terms of the fresh talent which is available and for a company to hire? So what are the major skill gaps which we see, and of course, how do we bridge those gaps?
You asking me, Gaurav?
Yes.
Okay. So disclaimer is this is only my experience, so it might not be the industry's experience. So maybe others can add to it. So my experience has been, like I told during the presentation itself. Unfortunately, our academics, and I'm talking about seafarers here, our academics are still very jaded. The things which we are taught in our mates and masters on the commercial side does not have much relevance to day-to-day operations. I think I was discussing with you, Gaurav, we talk about all the Hague rules and Hague-Visby rules, but we don't talk about importance of a notice of readiness, which is a day in and a day out job for a master or a seafarer. And I think enough has been said that how much money we do lose with the improper NOR tendered and not retendered and those kind of things. So the biggest challenge I have seen is these basics. These are not looked into in any kind of course right now. Again, my apologies to ICS. Maybe I have never been a part of that course, so I don't know what is the exact the content. But the thing is, people who have not done that course and they are coming out, these basics are missing. And I think this particular course which you are doing, Gaurav, is addressing those. So you have gone to the nuts and bolts and doing the basics right. And I think that is what is needed, because we don't want, when we are hiring, we don't want to hire experts. We want to hire people who have the right basic knowledge and the right basic right attitude, or if I can call that attitude. So that is something which is missing. High-end knowledge is there, which is probably a no use to that particular role, but the basics which is required for that role are missing. So this is something which is purely my experience.
No, very valid, Nilesh, and thanks for sharing your thoughts. And I mean, these become more relevant or become more visible once a person transitions ashore. When you're a seafarer, you may not understand those gaps, but that becomes more visible once you're there ashore. So thanks for your inputs. There's a comment from Rajiv Kumar. He's saying that today's market, finding a job is more about having the right network, and I agree with you, Rajiv, over here. And this is what the course or professional bodies provide, right? So be it ICS, be it our course, wherein when you probably come to the immersion, or when you are in the course. So you talk to like-minded people, and they become your buddies for life. They may be in different companies, but you will see that that information exchange will happen throughout their life, and that's what propels you further. And I'm a very, very strong proponent of this, that skills is one thing, but network is what essentially takes you further. And as I've said a lot of times, network is equal to net worth. So but you'll have to be at the right place to get the network for you, whatever you choose, wherever you choose that right place to be. All right, I've got Samsung SM. You may, if you rename yourself, sir, it'll be helpful. But I understand you're a second engineer, and you're ready with 13 years of experience, ready to move ashore. All right, I think it's more of a comment that you feel that seafarers can adapt and learn quickly. So I understand. I don't see a question over there. Shubham Kumar's question is, Master or Chief Mate COC is required? No, it's not required, Shubham. As we've pointed out, we've got a third mate, Nagesh, who's working in GeoServe. We've got a second mate, Deepak, who's joining Kargil in the next month. We've got a chief officer, Hoshang, who's joined um, uh, uh, Kargil again, who's already there. We've got two master mariners who we just saw, who are already also working in commercial shipping. So across the rank, you can get into the commercial shipping. All right, Bakar says that he's completed post-graduation from NMIS, and are you eligible for advanced course? So Bakar, we have a test to admit for the advanced course. So the test will probably happen after the course, so mid of August is when we take the exam. And if you pass the exam, that's when you will be eligible for the advanced course, and we can give you an entry over there. Divyank, yeah, so the next course of commercial shipping will start in January 2026, which is correct. It is probably an error if we mentioned January 2025, but next will be January 26. Prem Kumar Logonath, he's asking, being a charterer or a shipbroker, can we manage personal life and working life? All right, I'm sure Captain Ashok will have a very good comment response to it. Captain Ashok Sharma, and then maybe Captain Gogia, if you could provide your views on this.
Well, of course you can. It depends on you, right? How you want to manage your life. I mean, it's your life is not in anybody else's hands, so you got to strike the balance. There are people who can't manage it, people who do manage it, but that happens in every walk of life. Like, it's commercial shipping is tough, especially as a broker. Yes, it is, because you're not selling anything tangible. You're selling a service which cannot be seen by anybody. So you got to work that extra hard to make people aware of the quality and the availability of your service. But people manage it all the time. A lot of people don't, but a lot of people do. So it's entirely up to you.
Noted, sir. Captain Ashok, you've been
Yeah.
in the commercial side. You're now, managing ICS Mumbai. So your thoughts on this, please.
My thoughts on this are that it is all what you intend to do. I have never worked for a shipping company. I've never been trained as to with having seniors around me. I did my ICS purely because I was passionate about it. So when I did this, I was lucky. The networking, as it has been mentioned earlier also, is the keystone to getting your career in place. Yes, it helped me. I got the ships, I got the cargo, and it was very, very lucrative. At the same time, it was very, very fruitful. Now, talking about the time spent, there are no time limitations. I remember in the days when I started, we had to depend on the facts. And it continued, used to work late at night. And myself, along with one office staff, I was totally involved in it because, like I said, that you would have to answer calls at 3 in the morning also, and you did it all on your own. It's very hard work, and once you have been at sea and you feel that you've compromised so much of your family life at sea, when you come ashore, I think as long as the fixture is there, you are tied up morning, noon, and night, and once it's over, well, then you go for the next fixture. So it's totally on your self-realization, your self-devotion of time, and time management, which you have to do on your own. That's it from my side.
Right, sir. Noted. Thanks for your comments. Thanks for your insight. Let me move to the next question. Captain Nilesh, how many ships does a vessel operator handle? If you could just advise, that's Captain Ankur's question.
Anything between 6 to 8 in, and I've seen people handling 15 ships as well. Again, very, very subjective to company. Again, I will stick my answer to my company, about 6 to 8 vessels per hour.
Understood. Question from A. Kishan. If whether you can do the course while you're on board the ship. You heard Captain Bhavya saying that he did it while he was on the ship. And company visit, you can do it in the next batch as well. But we can't arrange a company visit separately for everyone. There will be only one company visit. If you're not in this batch, then you could do it in the next batch as well. Omkar, you're the second mate. You want to be part of commercial shipping in Dubai. So there are enough and more opportunities in Dubai. A lot of people from India have moved to Dubai and are part of the commercial shipping. Some have moved directly, some after a stint in India, but enough and more opportunities. So Subhashish, chief engineers, there are opportunities for chief engineers as well. Captain Ashok knows there was someone who did a chief engineer who did ICS and then who moved to UAE as a broker. And also I have seen a lot of marine engineers heading commercial shipping companies. So while we've had here more on the deck side, but there are enough and more success stories on the engineering side as well. There's no doubt about it. Ayush, I've already mentioned the next batch will be in January. Jebens, deck cadets, I know you, Jebens, so you have a decent experience. And essentially anyone who knows about shipping, they can be part of the first course, the introduction course. You can be part of the first course at any point of time. It will be beneficial. You'll be able to understand it. All right. Again, Samsung, if you rename yourself, but you're saying that sometimes the chief mates or second engineers, they do not have relevant opportunities. It's very subjective. There is a thought process in many companies who feel that if a person has become a second engineer or a chief officer, they will likely become a chief engineer and master mariner. And that's the reason why sometimes they are hesitant to give them relevant opportunities. And also that's basis experience of various people who have come at that level and then gone back to sea. But if you are able to, and this is the key point at that position, if you are able to prove that you are here for good in a particular position which you get, I think you should be able to get into a shore job. Mr. Rajesh is in his 50s sailing as chief engineer. He's asking if there is a retirement age in commercial shipping. Captain Ashok is there. He's not too old. He's fairly young, but I think he'll be able to answer that question. We've got two Captain Ashoks. Both of them can answer that. Captain Ashok Sharma, would you like to go first?
I'd love to retire long ago, but I can't. Right. So, frankly speaking, is the role that you're in. Yes, I think in Singapore the age is 63 or 65, but a commercial role really has a monetary value attached to it. How valuable you're to the company. So I know people who are working well into their 70s and on the commercial side. I know brokers who are in their mid 70s and probably amongst the most successful in the markets that they operate in. So it all depends on the monetary value that is assigned to you in your organization. So there is no real, as long as you're healthy, as long as you're able to perform the job that is being given to you, I don't see any reason for a company forcing you to retire. There would be big, huge organizations. Yes, you reach the retirement age, they'll ask you to go. But by and large, the small to medium size shipping companies, whether they're oil companies or whether they're chartering outfits or they are owners outfits, it's pretty flexible. But then I don't know why you would want to keep working after a bit. I mean, okay, I think you would want to retire. You should be in a position to want to retire much before somebody asks you to retire. So that's my take. But the retirement age, I mean, jokes apart, retirement age is flexible. I mean, it's not a hard and fast rule.
Right. Thank you, sir. We have a next question, which is from iPhone.
Gaurav, can I add to that?
Yes, please.
Yes, I totally agree. I totally agree with what Captain Sharma has just said. But honestly speaking, age limit doesn't mean that your mind just turns off. Your mind is still working. It depends on what kind of an area you're working in. And if you have done something which you have initiated, you've achieved, and you have progressed, I think age is no limit, and you just be passionate. I'm still doing it. So honestly speaking, I quite find it quite interesting, and it's a self decision which you have to take. As long as your health is okay, that's for sure. What Captain Ashok Sharma said, yes, your health has to be good. Other than that, there's no limit.
Thank you, sir. So I'll move to the next question, which is the wages part at various levels. So I'll tell you, probably as a third mate, second mate, you probably start at around 12 lakhs. And as a chief mate, around 24 to 30, as a master, between 30 and 36. But the growth, if you join as a third mate, second mate, is probably more steep then when you join at a master level. More importantly over here is that in commercial shipping, there are bonuses, right? Which at the time of joining, nobody was going to tell you, nobody's going to promise you. And these are not confirmed bonuses. But I have seen that people getting bonuses from 2 months to 6 months to maybe more 6 months of salary, right? As bonuses while you are working on the commercial side of things. So that's my take on it. Captain Nilesh is more in the market, and if you may want to add, please go ahead.
Yeah, will not be able to disclose things, but I think you are more or less there, spot on with the rank-wise things. And yes, bonuses are there, but I guess let's not take them as guarantees, because whenever you take that decision of coming, don't keep the bonuses in mind. See whether you can sustain with the ones, the CTC which is being offered to you. But I think you are spot on with the classification.
Thank you. From Captain Sumit, the question is, can he directly attend advanced course? As I mentioned that in about mid of August, we'll have the exam for the advanced course. And if you pass through, you will be able to get into the advanced course directly. Okay, Abrojyoti, I already answered your question that if you're in the shipping, if you understand, what is ship and how it works, you can get into this course as well. I've answered Mohinder Pal's question as well. All right. There's a question from RS. He's working in postfix analyst role, and he wants to get into operations. I'm applying for jobs since a year, but I'm finding it very hard to land into a desired profile. Will the advanced course help me land in my dream profile? For sure, there is no promises, but what we will do is we will call companies, we will upskill you, and we will give you an audience to the company. So there will be at least 5 company representatives in front of you whom you will be presenting your presentation. And if they like what you are talking, the way you are talking, your skills, then as has happened in the previous batches, you are likely to get a opportunity in the operations role as well. Devarshi Bharti, I guess we've given you enough and more information. I think it's for you to decide whether you would like to get into the course. Rest, you could connect to us on education@cnbeyond.com, and we can have a call specifically for your ambitions as well. Divyang, Smita will have a look at the glitch which you faced. We have answered your question, Prem. Rishikesh, there are 2 courses for now in the year, in July and in January. For now, those are the 2 questions. Those are 2 sessions which we are batches which we will start. Mohinder Pal, is very difficult for an individual to start broking by themselves. You have to be part of an organization. Ideally speaking, overall, I've seen people starting their own companies once you have a name in the market, but it's difficult to start individually as a broker. All right. Anshuman, I think your question has been answered about coming in as a junior officer or as a mate or a master. I think in commercial, it does not matter so much is what I see if you enter into any role, especially on the prefix side. Postfix, probably at a senior level, you have more experience in handling cargo, but as a prefix side, it does not matter much. Omkar, we've already shared that we will obviously assist you. We have placed a few people in Dubai, but all of them whom we have placed, they've had some experience in the commercial side, not directly from this course, but there is a support which we will provide. Also, just to let you know, we have partnered to more than 200 companies worldwide, wherein we support these companies in fulfilling their demands for the people ashore, which is not sailing jobs, but shore jobs. Thanks for your comment, Varun, Junaid. V. Sharma, we will probably talk on this one-to-one. Okay. Subhesh, when the company visit planned, so immediately after you finish the first course, we'll plan the company visit. So tentatively in the 3rd week of August, so around 22nd August is where, but we'll have to, it's still 2 months, 2.5 months down the line. So that's tentatively when the company visit would happen. So Subhesh, when you join the first shore job, will probably be a office job. The flexibility of a work from home may not be there, but there may be some companies who may be willing to. But that's it's early days to say that. All right. Priyanka's question is. Priyanka, I have read your question. I think we'll probably have to take it one-on-one because it may not be so relevant for others, but it's a relevant question for you, and we'll take it one-on-one with you. Mohinder Pal saying, Mohinder Pal, I've not understood your question. It's a little bit subjective. What's the worldwide and Indian expected growth in 10 years? Growth of what? Growth of career, growth in, I don't know, trade. I didn't, okay. Expected in jobs. I don't know. Captain Nilesh, would you want to take a stab at this? Mohinder Pal is asking, what is the expected growth of jobs worldwide and in India in the next 10 years?
Sorry, not very clear on that. There will be growth. I can't put a number because I have not done that study. So, but the jobs are increasing. They are on a upward scale. Unfortunately, I will not be able to put a number.
Right. So, Mohinder Pal, I'll tell you, because we are in the recruitment industry and we've been doing this for the past 10 years. I'll tell you, most of the companies are relocating from Europe and Singapore to either India or Dubai. And we've seen a lot of companies doing that. So, the rate of growth of jobs in India will be much, much higher than what it will be in any other part of the world. That's my view. Captain Ashok has been there in the market for long, and Captain Ashok Sharma may probably give his perspective as well.
Okay, if you look at all the major economies in the world, let me just talk about India today. Right? Look at all the major economies in the world, the ratio of the contribution of the maritime industry to the overall economy in India is the lowest. If you look at the other, look at Japan, look at China, look at the US, look at the European economies, shipping plays a much, I don't have the numbers at hand, but I can tell you that I can count the number of ship owners in India on my fingertips. In UK, I'm sure there would be well over 100, 200 owners. I'm on top of my head, maybe more. Greece would be thousands, literally. Small little economy, but Greece is unusual. So what this particular government, for the first time I'm seeing in all the years that I've been in this industry, is this government is taking a lot of interest in building up the maritime cluster, so to say. Ship repair, shipbuilding, and naturally they're forcing oil companies to build ships for the first time ever. The oil companies have always chartered ships in and for a long time, but now they are forcing them to own ships which are built in India. Now, India has the ability to build ships in India is inherent. It's latent. It's just not being used. I mean, India builds warships, right? We build submarines, we build aircraft carriers, we build frigates, we send rockets to the moon. And to build a merchant ship will be a relatively simple enterprise for all the technology that is available. So I believe shipbuilding in India is going to be a major driver of growth of the maritime cluster, and this shipbuilding is going to the shipbuilding is probably going to drive the number of jobs available because shipbuilding is going to drive ship owning. And I'm sure the government will have to relax the tax regime. They'll have to make it easier. They'll have to make it competitive, to put it simply. So I believe the prospect of job growth in India is several times more than any other part of the world in the next 10 years. You never heard of oil traders, Indian oil traders. Today, Indian oil traders dominate a lot of the Dubai market and Singapore market. You never heard of Indians trading oil. Now you do. You have a lot of Indian ship owners based in Dubai, based in Singapore. It's just a matter of time for the government to make it easier for them to, like Gift City and stuff like that, for them to be resident in India. It'll just take off. Remember, in 1970s, India started building the first car, apart from Fiat and Standard Herald and Ambassador. India started building the Maruti in India for the first time in 1970s, I think, somewhere in the 70s. Today, India probably has one of the largest auto ancillary industries in the world that contribute we export. It's a huge export. The number of jobs that have come with manufacturing of cars in India is crazy. So the number of jobs that will come manufacturing ships in India is going to be crazy for operations people, commercial people, technical people. Overall, very soon you'll see the orders being pushed out to Indian shipyards to build oil tankers, and that will be just a start because even today, apart from the cost of steel, which is a bit of a bugbear, but India would probably be one of the cheapest locations in the world to build a ship. Everything considered. So yes, India is the place to look at. This is the place where you're going to have exponential growth, like in every other. We're growing at 6.5, 7%. We are a $4 trillion economy. It'll probably be $5 trillion in 2000 by 2007. Yet Japan, which is also a similar economy, can you count? Does anybody just sit down and count the number of Japanese ship owners there are? Similar sized economy, much less, a much smaller population, much smaller consumption. Their oil consumption is about 40% of India's. But just look at the size of the maritime cluster. Shipbuilding, equipment, owning. So guys, watch. India is the place where you guys are lucky to be Indian and to be in India and to be in the maritime industry, because I think that is going to be probably one of the outperformers as far as industrial growth is concerned in the future.
Right, what an amazing macroeconomic perspective. So all logic, all numbers, just makes pure sense. It's not gut over there, and very well said, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess people know, but or maybe they're not. They may know but not be aware. Suzuki builds more, manufactures more cars in India than any other part of the world. Right. So India has already become the third largest car market in the world. 10 years ago, we were nowhere. Today, we are the third, if I'm not mistaken, third largest car market in the world. So the way industry can grow in this country, where the demand is so massive and growing so quickly, that it's just a matter of time before the maritime cluster takes over.
Absolutely. CMA have registered a couple of vessels. Maersk has registered vessels. So, I mean, with the big players coming in, I'm sure there will be.
It'll be Indians. You'll find small. You don't know how many Indians there. India has the second or third largest number of billionaires in the world. Nobody knows these numbers because the media doesn't choose to highlight these numbers. But it's a fact. Okay, if you have 1.4 billion people, logically, by average, you should have the highest number of billionaires in the world. But we have the third highest, and we're getting there. So, and each of these guys could buy a ship in their sleep, or buy a fleet in their sleep. You could buy a fleet of MRs today for about second-hand MR for $100 million, or $150 million. What is $150 million for an Adani or an Ambani or a Godrej or a Tata? This is nothing. It's change, pocket change. Only thing is that the regulatory environment and the taxation environment in this country isn't friendly enough. But India is now, it always had identified the maritime cluster as a strategic industry. But now with all this nonsense going around us and, all this geopolitical threats emerging, becoming more overt and manifesting themselves, like Operation Sindoor, and suddenly you found you have no friends in this world. They've decided, boss, we need to build our own ships, right? Because Indian government doesn't charter Chinese ships, so there's a huge chunk of ships that the Indian government cannot use to move their oil. So they need to, and China is the largest oil largest ship commercial shipping fleet in the world. So if that is out of for the government, if that is out of bound, we need to replace it, right? It's going to happen.
Absolutely, sir. Amen. And right, Ajit ji, you've mentioned if there's anyone who has interest in green steel, so if you may just write your email ID or phone number, and if anyone has that interest, they may please connect with you. Right, sir, everyone, I think we are at the end of the webinar, and I've got comments from Abrajyoti and Sandeep, and let's see if there's a question here. Growth prospects if we initially join as a trainee, commercial or vessel operator, also in order to become a shipbroker, is it required? Subish, sky is the limit in the commercial side of things. You can grow till whatever level you can, and do you need a ICS license to become a broker? No, you do not. But it is always recommended. It is always preferred to have that, because you are in the network, right? And a lot of companies value that certification a lot. So that's the advantage which you get. I'll put an end to the webinar. We've been over here for 2 hours, 15 minutes. We still have about 50 odd people, and I'm hoping that was a very good time, very good insights, very good knowledge that all of us have gained from the experts in the panel over here. Captain Ashok Sharma, Captain Ashok Gogia, Captain Nilesh, Captain Jaideep was there. Thanks to Captain Mitesh, who's been here from the start till now, sharing his journey. Captain Bhavya, who shared his journey as well. And most importantly, to all of you who took out time on a weekend, not attending to your family, but being here. And I look forward to interacting with you more during the course if you choose to enroll for it. And we've got discounts for you for the first 5 participants. In the next 2 days, we give a 10% discount. Reach out to the numbers which Smita has mentioned over here, or click on the links which Smita shared, and you should be able to enroll yourself. Thanks everyone for the lovely time we spent interacting with you, and thank you so much for your time. We'll stay in touch.